Mario in Brawl is bad. While he does have solid frame data and a fairly versatile toolkit, he isn't particularly fast, he has bad range, he has a lot of trouble killing, he has a bad recovery, and his combo potential is more limited than in any other Smash game, as Brawl is the most counterplay against combos in the series. Mario simply lacks an oppressive neutral and his punish game is rather inconsistent, resulting in him simply being outclassed by most of the cast. Mario's moveset overall is actually not too bad, as Mario has a lot of fairly solid moves. Nothing oppressive, but definitely solid. Despite this, there are a few moves he has which are bad, and this may come as a surprise to some of you, but one of those moves is his forward aerial. Mario clenches his fist forwards. If Mario lands the move early or late, the move launches opponents horizontally, but if he lands at the right time, he dunks the opponent downwards. We all know this move, it is even referenced in the Mario movie. The media smash properties the move has naturally make it a viable option for edgeguarding. It's not a great edgeguarding option, as I'll discuss later, but it is a viable edgeguarding option. And that's the only positive thing I can say about this move, because man, this move is really underwhelming in this game, and I will now explain why that is the case. First of all, the move is slow. The move comes out on frame 16, which is quite slow for a forward air. This naturally makes the move relatively hard to land, but there is something to keep in mind. While the move is frame 16, the move has pretty bad range on its first active frame, so in most cases, you will be landing this move on frame 17 at the earliest. Also, the move doesn't meteor on its first active frame. This slow startup wouldn't be too much of an issue if forward air was worth landing, but
we get there when we get there!
Not only does the move come out slowly, but it also has a hefty amount of ending lag at 59 total frames, making the move risky to use, especially off stage, as well as meaning that Mario can't really pressure opponents who successfully air dodge the move. The move also has 26 frames of landing lag, which is quite a chunk. This naturally makes the move quite punishable if it whiffs or if it is shielded. The move is minus 22 on shield at best, which can lead to some chunky punishes. Mario can space the move to make it tricky for some characters to punish, but the move is still relatively punishable for a majority of the cast, even with good spacing. In addition to this, forward air comes out pretty slowly, which means that the move is not too difficult to power shield, and if the opponent power shields, it opens Mario up to much bigger punishes. Forward air also has a bad auto-cancel window, with the move being completely unable to auto-cancel in a short hop, meaning that if you do a short hop there, you are getting the full 26 frames of landing lag. The sad thing is that forward air is literally only one frame away from being short hop auto-cancelable. If the move auto-cancelled one frame earlier, or if Mario's short hop had one more frame of airtime, forward air would be short hop auto-cancelable, but alas, that is not the case. That is just so mean. Forward air's high landing lag also makes the move rather bad on hit. At 0%, the move's media hitbox is around minus 9 to minus 10 on hit depending on the opponent's weight, which naturally means that the move is punishable on hit, especially since the opponent doesn't really go anywhere after getting hit. Some characters can easily land strong KO moves, while some others can chain grab you, which is as fun as it sounds. You can space the fair to try and make it safer on hit, but a savvy opponent can just SDI the fair and hit you anyway, so that's fun. The move is safer if you hit an aerial opponent into the ground, but unless that opponent has RCO lag, Mario is still going to be minus on hit at lower percents, and a good chunk of the cast can still punish the move on hit. The move is also 4 frames worse on hit against a crouching opponent, leading to stronger punishes for some characters. Just thought I'd point that out for the sake of completion. The move naturally does become safer on hit at higher percents, but the absolute safest the move can be is plus 4 on hit. This does allow Mario to get a guaranteed jab or up B at specific percents, but both these follow-ups aren't very strong and they can be avoided with SDI. Fair can trip at certain percents, which can lead into a completely guaranteed down smash, which deals a decent amount of damage, although it won't kill, even on the Smashville platform. The catch, however, is that there is only a 13.5% chance the fair will actually trip, and if the fair doesn't trip, the opponent can just shield or even power shield the down smash for free.
Not a great plan.
Down smash can also be guaranteed at the right percents if you fair an opponent into the ground, but in this case, the opponent can SDI the fair to potentially avoid the down smash. F smash can be guaranteed in this scenario if the opponent's RCO lag, but this doesn't kill under most circumstances, in addition to being extremely niche to say the least. And when the opponent goes into tumble, forward air loses all of the extremely limited combo potential it had, although the move is safe on hit against opponents in tumble. So I've gone on and on about forward air being really slow and being really bad on stage, being unsafe on shield and lacking any meaningful combo potential. But you might be thinking, but that doesn't matter all too much. You're supposed to be using forward air off stage for edge guarding, you goofball. Mario's fair in Smash 4 also sucks on stage, but it is really good off stage. You've wasted my time. Okay.
Yes.
Forward aerial's main use is for edge guarding, but here's the thing. It's not even very good at edge guarding in Brawl. I'll start off by talking about the early hit. Just to annoy you more, I mean, as that's the logical place to start. The early hit does not KO Mario until he is over 175% in the middle of Final Destination, and that's without DI or momentum cancelling. If the opponent does DI, the move doesn't even KO Mario at 200% from center stage. If the opponent is in the air, the move doesn't KO Mario until he's over 190% without DI or momentum cancelling. Not very impressive for a frame 16 aerial with a teeny tiny hitbox. To put into perspective how bad this is, Mario's bair and nair both KO earlier than forward air, and neither of those aerials hit particularly hard. Even up air can KO aerial opponents earlier than forward air. All of these aerials are a fraction of the speed of forward air, by the way, in addition to being much safer. The late hit is also not even worth mentioning. That hit is really weak. But now it is finally time for the main event, the Media Smash hitbox. It's not very strong. On stage, it doesn't KO at all. Forget about it. But off stage, it is still not particularly powerful. A thing to keep in mind is that Brawl is media cancelling. While it isn't quite as broken of a survival technique as in Melee, it can still be used to survive media smashes for longer, with the average character in Brawl having a 25 frame media cancel window. You can even buffer the media cancel to easily get it as early as possible. With that being said, Mario's forward air is still a really weak media smash. If I spike Luigi off the ledge at 110%, he can survive.
Yes.
Luigi survived a frame 17 spike below ground level at 110%. To put into perspective how bad this is, Falco's frame 5 down air kills Luigi in the situation at around 90%. Ganondorf's frame 16 down air kills Luigi just over 25% in this situation. Falco's down air also has very low landing lag, while Ganon's down air can show up auto cancel. What's Mario's excuse? It's weaker than the fastest media smash in the game, it's slower than the strongest media smash in the game, and it is extremely risky to use on stage with virtually no follow-up potential. What was he cooking? Not only is Mario's forward air one of the slower and laggier media smashes in the game, not only does the media smash hitbox only have 3 active frames, making it one of the tighter media smashes to land, but it is also one of the weaker single-hit media smashes in the game, having similar power to Olimar's white Pikmin down air. That is not an exaggeration. And as bad as this already is, there are even more factors to take into consideration here.
1!
There is no rage in Brawl, so whether Mario is at 0% or 999%, his fair is still equally as pathetic. 2. Mario has almost no combos which lead into fair. He pretty much always has to land the fair raw, and that is not the easiest thing to do. The only combo I can think of is a landing up air into fair at specific percents against fast fallers, which is very tight and requires a specific set of circumstances to work. And most of the characters it works on can easily survive it, or at the very least they can bring Mario down with them. 3. If the opponent actually gets hit by the fair, they have the ability to SCI the fair and potentially survive it. If the opponent gets hit by fair and they are close to the stage, they can potentially just SCI back onto the stage and completely survive the fair while also not being at risk of being punished. Even if the opponent can't SCI back onto the stage, they can still SCI the fair upwards to survive it for longer. This is something which affects pretty much every media smash in the game, to be fair, but since Mario's fair is as slow and as weak as it is, it's something which makes this already weak media smash even worse. So forward air comes out slowly, has a lot of ending lag, has a lot of landing lag, doesn't show up auto cancel, doesn't combo more or less, and doesn't even edge guard all too well. So what uses does forward air have? Well, its only real use is naturally in edge guarding. As forward air can media smash opponents, it can be used to edge guard opponents even though it does not hit particularly hard. While it is hard to land and it is pretty weak, it still has enough power to at least have some edge guarding prowess, particularly against characters with poor recoveries. One character in particular you can edge guard with this move is Wolf. Because Wolf has a 60 frame media cancel, which basically means that he can't media cancel, this means that fair is actually a pretty decent edge guarding option against Wolf, who has a dog water recovery, although it is still below average in this area compared to other media smashes. And That's pretty much it. The move is viable yet unspectacular as an edge guarding option, and that's it. The move is useless on stage as it is way too laggy. The move is very unsafe on shield, it is unsafe on hit at low percents, it has no combo potential at high percents, and even at that small percent window where it can combo into stuff, the only things it can reliably combo into are very weak and SCIable. Not to mention that if the fair doesn't hit, you are left wide open for a punish. Also not to mention that Mario's other areas are drastically faster, safer, stronger, and have better combo potential. Overall, Mario's forward air is pretty bad. It's really slow, having slow startup lag, high ending lag, high landing lag, and having a bad auto cancel window. And it's not even strong on top of that. The sour spots are weaker than Mario's other much faster aerials, while the sweet spot is weaker than the vast majority of other media smashes. The move isn't useless as it does do a pretty decent thing, but it doesn't do that thing very well, especially compared to other media smashes in this game. Is it the worst forward aerial in the game?
No!
Is it Mario's worst move in this game?
No.
Is it the worst media smash in this game? Is it Mario's worst iteration of forward air? Absolutely, in my opinion. Mario's fair in melee might be even more useless off stage, but it at least has solid on-stage utility. And Mario's fair in every other game is so much superior overall. Mario's fair in Brawl is the laggiest and weakest it has ever been, being the worst on stage it has ever been, while also being rather underwhelming off stage. It may be a functional move which is not useless, but it is so underwhelming that it is a move you will only ever want to use sparingly, especially since Mario has access to other solid edge guarding options.
Thanks for watching.
Guys.
Just smash the like button, comment and subscribe.